So as you can see here, field reference file or simply reference file in AS400, it is also physical file, but it does not contain any data. Okay, it keeps only the field description, like data type, length, and whatever it is. So it does not have the any data, it's having the only fields information. So why you need a only fields information into the one physical file? Without, we know that physical files are using to the occupies the memory and store the data, but now we are talking there is a one file, it is called as a physical file, but we are using that to only keep the fields, not we are putting any data into that. So what is the main use of that, which is calling as a field reference file? Let's take an example. You have an application called as a bank, and you have a separate department, that is a saving account department and current account department, and you have a credit card department and debit card department. And all these departments, when you wanted to enroll and when you wanted to onboard a new customer, so what are the information you required? The customer name and customer number and customer date of birth and customer email, and all the four departments, these are the my common fields. Okay, so if I wanted to create a four files, for one file for the saving and one file for the current account department and one file for the loans and one file for the debit card, so I have to define all these four common fields into these four departments. Okay, in future if I wanted to increment any of file field, any of the field, like customer name, currently I am putting the 20 characters, but in future I wanted to increment, that is the 30 characters. So what I need to do, since the customer name I am using into the four departments, the called as the savings and current and loans and the credit cards, so all the four departments I have to go to the four departments files, I need to go and change the customer name from 20A to 30A. Okay, so this is a very difficult and it is a very huge task, because those are the primary files. Those files can be used in a multiple programs, and you need to analyze all those programs, and you need to do the again recreation of those programs. To avoid that, do we have any useful use case that where I can keep my common fields into the one file? Like, since I know that what are the common fields used in my entire application, so I can keep it all the common fields into the one file. In future if I wanted to do the any change of the field length or field data type, I can simply go into the that common file and do the changes, so that I no need to go to the all the department files and do the changes. Okay, so that is where the field reference file come into the picture, where you can place the common fields into that file with the field name and length and data type, and you can use those fields as a reference fields. In future if you wanted to change any field length, what you can do, you can just go and change into the field reference file. So as you can see, a simple diagram to understand very clearly. So this is a bank FLDS. It is a reference file. It is having the common fields. Okay. So this is having the common field definitions. So those common fields are also using into the customer account file and transaction history file and account master file. So suppose the account number, and as you can see account number we are using in the three files. Okay, and this is a common field we are using, and somewhere you can see the balance also we are using here and we are using here as well. Okay, and some, yeah, so these are the some common fields we are using. So in future if I wanted to change any account number length, so what you need to do, you have to go into all these three files and do the account number length change. Okay, instead of that, so is there any chance to can make a changes in only one file so that it will be reflected in other files? So that is where the reference file come into the picture. So changes in this automatically update all the files, so you no need to do the changes in each and every file, so you just need to do the recompilation of that file, recreation of that file. So this is a field reference file. Okay, so now what you can do, so since we have a account the customer account file, so I will create some one file with the common fields. Okay, the field reference file, then I'll refer the files through customer account. Okay, so now you can see here it is having the length and data type right now. Okay, so what can be our PDM? As this is now initially what we are done, we created this simple physical file with no keywords, no field level keywords. Later we added the some field level keywords, and we made this file as a multi-member physical file. So now what we are going to do, since you declare the explicitly the length and data type, I don't want to mention the length and data type. Where I can see that account number and account type and the customer name, and I wanted to make a one file with the common fields where I use the these customer ID, and the some fields I define it as a common field, and instead of length and data type I wanted to refer from there directly. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I create one field reference file. Okay, just take F6, and here is and the type also again PF, because the field reference file as a physical file. Just take an enter, you can take IPPF, enter. So here I can do the record format, so I just do the FLD or EF, so to understand field ref. And here what I am doing, so CUST cust ID, and this I am making 7P0, and even only few fields. Okay, and ACCT number, account number I wanted to make it as a 10. Yeah, enter. And account type I wanted to make a CC account type. So this will be the some 2A. And also I wanted to make it STATS status, it is a 1A. Okay, so these are the my some common fields. I just made only few common fields here. I'm just taking the file, enter. So I'm just compiling this. Okay, this will be created. So now what I will do, so I can see, so I'll open this, and also I wanted to open the other file. So for that, since you open the one file DDS, if you wanted to see the other file DDS as well at same time, what you can do, you can take shift F3, and here what is the other file, this is the other file, just enter here. So as you can see here, customer ID also I'm using, and account number also I'm using, and account type also I'm using, and status also I'm using. So I wanted to refer these fields. Okay, instead of mentioning the length and data type, I wanted to refer this. So what I need to do, I can do here option 2 here. So I'm going to remove the completely this, and I'm also removing this as well. So let's go this, take F4. Here what I do, I don't want to mention the length. Okay, here. So here is the ref is there, right? So since you wanted to refer it from some file, you can just mention the R and which field you wanted to refer it. I know that common file is having the four fields. Out of those four field, which field information you wanted to refer it here. Okay, so ref fld. So, and out of four fields, I wanted to use CUST cust ID. This is the field I wanted to refer it. And account number also, again, I wanted to use the R. I don't want to mention the length and data type. And ref fld. Here I wanted to mention ACCT number. Okay. So this is what I wanted to refer it. And next status, for the status. So let's go and refer for status directly. So this I am just explaining for few fields only, but you can try with the more fields for a good answer session. So you can do that. So what I can do, I'm just doing that. So here what you can do, what is a ref fld, I wanted to refer from STATS status. Okay, so it doesn't mean that the field name should be same as here. It can be any field name, like in the field reference file you can declare it as the other fields as well, like so. For example, here cust id is there, right? And cust id are I mentioned, so that you can understand, so that you cannot get confused that field names should also be same. So I'm just recompiling this again. So here what you can do, since I changed here for cust ID, I wanted to refer the cust ID R. Okay, this is there in the my field reference file. account number I wanted to account number R, and for status and status R. Okay, the field names are, it can the field names can be a different, but you have to explicitly mention which field you wanted to refer it. Since you are referring, and you should also mention the ref file name, right? Ref, and what is my file name, and this is a bnk and flds. Okay, so this here you have to mention the reference file name and what are the fields you are referring. So since as you can see here, the customer name, ID and account number and status are the common fields. I am not declaring the length and data type here. Instead of that, I am referring from the other file. That file is called as a field reference file. So what are the field? So how you are referring that? You have a ref keyword, there you mention the file name. You have a ref field, there you mention the field name, and you also mention the ref field, there you have mentioned the another field name which you wanted to refer it, and here also status CSR. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just to file it and 14 compile it and compile it. Okay, so I think what is happening, just file it and go and check our library is there or not. Edtlibl, here our library is not there, so bnk dev 1, so that's why you got an error. So always make sure your library is the present in library list. I'm just compiling again. So now you can see it is a created. Okay, so when you do the upddta and this customer, so what you can see, so this length, so what is the account number and customer ID, you are referring from other file, right? So without defining the length you got that. So what if, so in future I wanted to change now. Okay, so this I wanted to change from this 10a to let's make 50a. Okay, this account number I wanted to change is 10. To see the difference, I'm just giving the huge number. So 10 to 50a I just changed. Since this is does not have the any data, you can compile it many times, you can just compile it. And when go and see this, so you cannot see that updated information until unless see you compile it. Okay, so for that what you can do now, I can compile that. I think which one you shared, that account number, right? So now you can do and compile it. So now go and see UPDDTA, and you can see, right, account number it is exceeded. So did you have you done any changes in this file? This file you are not even opened this file. What you done, you just compiled, but how the changes are reflected? Since we are referring the field from this field reference file, you compile the field reference file, and you also compile the way that field being is referred that file. So this automatically do the changes. Okay, so this is a example of the field reference file. And here you should notice one thing. Okay, so here I'm just putting some data. Okay, here, so upd data, so you can mention some account number and you can mention this whatever it is, and give some dummy data, anything. Okay, customer name, and this also branch or something, enter. And also I'm giving the some dummy data here. And take F3 and enter. Okay, so now go and see the data into this file, run query star n, and this is a file, right? You can just copy and paste it here, enter. So as you can see, it is a data. So now I wanted to do the some changes in this file. Okay, you have the data in the file, so still you wanted to do the some changes in this file. So what changes I wanted to do? So here what I can do, here the column heading I will add cyl hdg column heading, and here what you can do, account type. So this is a column heading you added, you add on the one changes, and take F3 and enter. You can, if you take a 14 option and compile it, what will happen, the data will be loose. Okay, what, so every time whenever you take a 14 option, whatever the data in the file, that will be lost. Okay, so that will be loose, so you don't see the any data when you try with the 14 option. So what is the best way? So but I have done the some changes, I wanted to reflect those changes, and also I wanted to keep my old data. I don't want to lose my data, so I need a new changes and without losing my data. So what is the best option you can do? change pf, chgpf, you can do chgpf and take f4 and give the file name here. And what is the library? bnkdev1. And here you can give the source file as well. Okay, so what is our source file? qtdsrc, enter, and here give the again bnkdev1. Okay, enter, enter. Okay, as you can see it is a changed. Now go and see the changes are reflected or not. So okay, so run query star n and give this file name and just enter. Yes. So as you can see, account type, the changes are reflected. Also, I can see the my data. Okay, I have not lost the data. Okay, so by using the change PF, so without losing your data, you can implement the new changes. So that is also I just wanted to tell you. So change PF, we use the two cases. One case is where you can do the changes of field, the file attributes, like where you can increment the maximum members. And another case where you have done the some changes in the file DDS and without losing your data, the changes should be reflect. Then that case also we use the change pf. So this is the important of the change pf. So there is another concept we'll discuss this is as well. So far what we discussed, so far we discussed about the structure. So far we see that there is a physical file. In the physical file you have a file level and record format level and field level and key field level. In the field level you mentioned the some fields with length and data type, everything it is a kind of the structured data. And where you are inserting data and where you can see also in the some structured format, like under the name column you can see only the name information, under the number column you can see the number information. All those things you are seeing that. So that is a structured data. What if I have a requirement to store the unstructured data in my IBMI system? I don't want I don't have any fields. So I just need simply store the some unstructured data into the my IBMI system. So for that, what is there any other way, and do you have any other type of the file to use that? Yes. So we have a flat files. These are nothing but physical files only, but it is having the only one column. One column means it is having the only one field. Okay, so the length of the column is usually larger than the length of the physical file, because as you can see, when you're defining the physical file fields DDS, you can see the customer name is 40A and customer number is 580. It's depends on some requirement, but when it comes to the flat file, it depends on the again the requirement. You can make the flat file length is 100A, 200A. Still, it can be allowable since it is having only one field. And this is because each record format file contains several columns, and we can here also we can write and read and update all the data into the flat file. So as you can see, the flat file structure will be the single field only, you can see. And it can be some, the file name is branch name, and the record format will also be branch name, and field name also be the branch name. So when you're creating the flat file, so the file name and field name and record format name, everything will be the same as the file name only. It will be the single name. Okay. So use cases, what is a some parameter configuration, some unstructured data, nodes and messages. So in that case, you can use this flat file concept. And as you can see, what is a structured data? Structured data is a separate fields where you have the customer name, address and phone number. Where is the unstructured data? Completely some text. Okay, customer called about the account balance inquiry. This is a one kind of the message, right? This is a unstructured data. Okay, so now how we can create the flat file, so that we can see. So simply, the since the flat file does not have the any DDS, you no need to take F6, and you no need to go to the str start source entry utility is required. So when you have a DDS and when you wanted to write some source, okay, since the flat file does not have any DDS, and what is the other way? You can just use a CRTPF directly. Why the CRTPF? It is a physical file. Flat file also has a physical file. That is why you have to use a CRTPF. Then you can take F4 where I wanted to create a flat 100 file, and which library? So bnk dev1. So and the source file is not required, you can just remove it. Or let's see, and here you can see that record length. So record length, if no DDS, I'm just giving the record length is 100. Enter, enter. So as you can see, flat is created. So I wanted to check, so what is the type of this flat 100? Yes, I created this, but I wanted to see the type of that. So vark obj, and you can see enter. So this is the type of, an attribute is pf and type is a star file. Okay, so how it is look like when I take a upd dta, how it will be look like? Okay, you can take upd dta flat 100, enter. So here you can see 100 length given, so this is the maximum line you can see. So here you can see you can type any information here. Okay, so any information, since it is a flat file, so it is just does not have the any fields. So you can type any some text format of information. I can see this account balance is below, fee may vary. Okay, so just an unusual transaction detector, something like that, you can add it. So here I added the two messages, and just take F3 and enter and go and see. So you cannot see the that flat 100 here, because you can see here the members which is having the source. Flat 100 is having the source? No, it does not having the source. So that is why. So where you can see, how you can see the data into that flat 100, you can see the run query star and FLAT flat 100, just enter. So here is the data. Okay, as you can see, flat 100, the field name is flat 100 and file name is flat 100, and record format name also flat 100. So how you can check that? Either you can go upddta and flat sorry, FLAT flat 100. So here you can get to know that. Here you can simply understand. So here you can see the format name flat 100 and file name flat 100. And if I take F10, the field name also flat 100. All the three names are the flat 100. Okay, so this is a flat file, and this is a multi-member physical file, and this is done. And these are the some commands. It is very necessary to you understand, and it is always better to remember these commands. What is a work mbr pdm? Work mbr pdm is where you wanted to create your source. Okay, the library and source physical file, you wanted to create some source member, you can go work mbr pdm. And crtpf to create a physical file, and work obj is to check that object is present in the system or not. And dspfd is just display the information about physical file. And dspffd is display information about the physical file fields. Okay, so what is a dspffd? So that I can show you. So this is a file. Okay, so what is the difference between the dspfd and dspffd? Dspfd, you can see the file information, like kind of the file biodata, when it was created, what is the maximum members, what is the members of the name, and how many records it does have, and does this have any key fields. Okay, so that kind of information you can see in the using dspfd. But you don't have authority to see the option 5 here. Okay, so unfortunately you don't have authority for option 5 display, but still I wanted to see what are the fields are there in my file. So for that, what you can do, you can go dsp ffd and give the file name, enter, and go bottom, enter. And here you can see you have the balance field and you have the last. So okay, this kind of the information you can see it here, account number field. Okay, so you can see all these fields. So this is how you can see. And add pfm is basically add the member, and remove member is just remove the member from physical file. And change pf is basically modify the existing file attributes, or if you wanted to change, you have done some changes in the field level, and those changes without losing your data, that the changes should be reflected, then you can go with the change pf. Okay, so this is all about the day one, so where we completed all the physical file concepts. Like, we started with the normal physical file, so then we discuss about the field level keywords, and then we get into the multi-member physical file. And after that, we'll discuss about the field reference file. Then we discuss the flat file. We discuss some commands like dspfd, dspffd, and change pf.